Good morning, friends. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good. That's great to hear. So I have something really funny to share with you. I have two favorite insects. What do you think about when you think of insects?
I think I'm a ladybug.
A ladybug? Alex, what do you think about?
Spiders.
Spiders? Well, I have two favorite insects. Can anyone guess what they might be?
A grasshopper.
A grasshopper. Okay, Alex.
A butterfly.
A butterfly. That's right. One of my favorite insects is a butterfly and a bumblebee. And I was thinking about how they're kind of the same. Can you think about ways that butterflies and bumblebees might be the same?
They fly.
They have wings.
They do. They both have wings and they both fly. And can you think of a difference maybe that these butterflies might have with the bumblebee?
One is like the bumblebee's like black and yellow.
That's great. The color.
They're always black and yellow, but butterflies come in like different colors.
Yes, they can change colors. And one of my favorite color butterflies is blue. So if it's a blue and black butterfly and we can put it beside a black and yellow bumblebee, we can know their differences are the colors. That's a great job, guys. Do you have a favorite color butterfly maybe?
I like purple.
You like
I like
purple butterflies?
orange.
You like orange butterflies?
Yes.
Those are some great colors, and those are very different from a bumblebee, which is yellow and black, right? Okay, so what we just did was something called compare and contrast. We just compared and contrasted a bumblebee and a butterfly, a blue butterfly, a purple butterfly, and an orange butterfly. So we compared and contrasted, and can anyone tell me what they might think that those words might mean based on what we just did?
Isn't it the way they're alike and the way they're different?
Yes, that's exactly right. So I'm going to share with you a slideshow that I put together for you to get to know these two words and become comfortable with them. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Okay, can everyone see this okay?
Yes.
Okay, compare and contrast. Those are the words that we just said. So compare. When you compare something, you're telling how similar or they're alike. So I put an example and I included Alex in it. I said Miss Arias and Alexandria both have brown hair. Alex, can you think of any other similarities that me and you may have?
We're both girls.
We're both girls. Great. London, can you think of any similarities that me and you have?
We both have glasses.
We both have glasses. That's great. Okay, let's talk about contrast. When you contrast something, you're telling how they're different. For example, London's hair is very curly and Alexandria's hair is wavy. They're not the same. So, London, can you tell me another difference that you might have with Alex?
Alex has pretty eyes. She has color.
Both have pretty eyes.
Have brown eyes.
Okay, that's a good contrasting. Alex, can you think of anything to contrast you and I?
Your name starts with a K and mine starts with an A.
That's excellent. Not only can we contrast people's appearances or their actions, we can contrast their names as well. That's excellent. Good job, Alex. Okay. Questions that we can ask ourselves when we compare and contrast while reading. So when we're comparing, we can ask ourselves, how are they alike? And while we're contrasting, we can say, how are they different or how are they not alike? We can compare and contrast settings, major events, and characters. Can someone remind me what those vocabulary words mean? We've been working on them for the past 2 lessons, so let's think about what they mean.
Isn't it the setting like where the story takes place?
That is a great job. Yes, the settings is where the story takes place. Alex, can you tell me what a major event is?
It's like the big event of the story.
And you guys, what does characters mean?
It's like the people or the animals in the story.
Okay, So how can we compare and contrast? When we're comparing and contrasting, we can use a Venn diagram. Does anyone remember what a Venn diagram looks like?
It's 2 circles.
2 circles, that's excellent. And this was what one would look like. And you can see the differences, similarities, and differences. So what goes on the middle bubble?
How they're same, how they're similar,
And what goes on the outside bubbles?
how they're different.
Right, good job. So let's look at this next slide. We can see bees and butterflies, and it's in a Venn diagram. Earlier, whenever we were comparing our bees and butterflies, we were using them in our thoughts out loud. If we ever wanted to write them down, we would use a Venn diagram, and we could use it this way. So awesome job, guys. Let's move on to the 2 stories that we read this week and compare and contrast them. Okay, so I want everyone to think about our 2 books that we've read. Can you guys tell me what books we read this week?
We read Pete the Cat Plays
Pete the Cat.
Baseball,
Yeah,
and we read Where the Wild Things Are.
Where the Wild Things Are. That's a great job. So can you tell me about the character and where the wild things are? Do you guys remember?
Is it Max?
It's Max. And who else was in the story, Alex?
His mom and the Wild Things.
Okay. And I remember you guys mentioned that we read Pete the Cat Play Ball. Do you guys remember who the characters were in Pete the Cat Play Ball?
Pete the Cat.
Pete the Cat. That's great. There weren't really that many characters in there that were talked about, were there?
No.
Right. So Pete was the main character. And let's think about where these stories took place. Do you guys remember?
Where the Wild Things Are took place in Max's bedroom, and then he imagined going to the island where all the wild things live. And then Pete the Cat took place at a baseball field.
Right. Good job. Alex, can you tell me anything that you remember from Where the Wild Things Are that stood out to you?
Yeah. He became the king and he was wearing a crown, but then he wanted to go back home and they wanted him to stay, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a boat and he went back home and he was happy to be home.
That's great. So I want you guys to lock these stories in your brain, and I want you to work together with your Turn and Talk partner to decide what parts of each story should go in a Venn diagram. Can someone remind me what a Venn diagram is?
It's the circle, like the 2 circles, and one side, the left side and right side of the circles belong to the 2 stories, and in the middle, you talk about how the 2 stories are similar.
Okay, that sounds really good. So here is our Venn diagram that has Pete the Cat on the left side and Where the Wild Things Are on the right side. And in the middle, can anyone tell me what the middle bubble is?
It's where we talk about both the stories.
Right, good job. So I want you and your Turn and Talk partner to look at this Venn diagram, and I want you to talk with one another and decide which of the describing words, key details from the book, goes in each side, okay?
Okay. So can we start?
Go ahead and start.
Okay, so I think that the happy ending is in both of them, wouldn't you say?
I think so, because I remember the ending was Max came home and he woke up in his bedroom and there was food for him, so he was happy. And then Pete the Cat was happy even though the baseball game wasn't good.
Yeah. And then human.
That's Max, because Max, and that also goes with cat suit, because Max dressed up as a cat suit and Pete the Cat was an actual cat. So I feel like human and cat suit go in Where the Wild Things Are. Didn't Max dress up like a cat? Didn't he have a...
Oh, yeah.
Because he wore the white cat-looking suit, and he had his crown. That was his costume when he went to the island. So I think those 2 go on that side. Upset and happy. I don't remember Pete being upset.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think he was upset. I think it was like where the wild things are. He was upset because at the beginning he was upset at his mom because he was mad, and that's why he wanted to go there, I think. And then yeah, so upset and happy is in where the wild things are.
And then happy at all times is different than upset and happy, because I think happy at all times was Pete the cat. I think Pete the cat was happy at all times, and Max would have been happy at all times if he didn't get upset with his mom. So we know that happy at all times goes just under Pete the cat. And then boy, we know that Max is a boy. And, well, wait, Pete the cat's a boy too.
Yeah.
So they're both boys.
Yes.
So that goes in the middle.
Yes.
And then animal, because we know that Max is a human. He was just wearing a cat suit. Animal, that's Pete the cat. Cat, because he's a cat. He's an animal.
Right. Yep.
Okay, guys, I heard some really great discussion. Are you guys ready to share?
Yeah.
And let's move these on the Venn diagram together. So who has a cat suit? Let's think about that. Can we think back to our stories and remember who wore a cat suit?
Max did.
Max did. And who is Max? What book was he in?
Max was in Where the Wild Things Are.
Right. So let's go ahead and move this on our Venn diagram. Good job. Who was an actual cat?
Pete. Pete was an actual cat.
And Pete was in what book?
Pete the cat.
Pete the cat. Says it in the title right there. And if we didn't know that, if we didn't remember, we could use the detail from our title, Pete the cat. So he was an animal cat. What book had a happy ending?
Both the stories did.
Both stories. Why do you say that?
Well, me and Alex were talking, and we both remember how Pete the cat, even though he didn't win his baseball game, he was really happy at the end because he was a good sport. And then at the end of Where the Wild Things Are, Max woke up in his bedroom, and he was really happy that he had food.
That is a great job. You did a great job using the key details from both books. So who is human in this book? In these books?
Max.
Max. Okay.
He goes Where the Wild Things Are because he dressed up in the cat suit.
Great job. Okay. Who's happy at all times during these books?
Pete was.
Pete. And how do we know that he was happy all the time?
Pete was just super happy person. He was always really good sport, and he never got mad or upset.
That's great. Alex, where could we put upset and happy?
Probably, like I said, in Where the Wild Things Are, because the little boy was upset at the beginning, Max.
Yeah.
And then he became happy at the end, so he was like both things.
That's great. Okay, and boy, where can we put this?
In the middle.
In the middle. And why do you say that?
Because Pete the cat was a boy and Max was a boy. And they're both stories.
That's a really great job. So, guys, I want you to think about this some more. Beyond what we put on our Venn diagram right now, can you think of anything that we can add to this? Do you have any suggestions as to what we should add to Pete the Cat, both, or Where the Wild Things Are? Or do you think this is good?
I think we could add some stuff.
What do you think we could add?
I think we could add that, like, Max is like Where the Wild Things Are. That took place in, like, on an island. And in Max's bedroom. And, like, because remember, because technically he was in Max's bedroom the whole time. But, like, he dreamed that he went to the island.
Yeah.
And Pete the cat, he was just playing baseball. So he was on the baseball field majority of the time.
Ball field. Good job. Betsy used the settings to compare those. Alex, do you have anything that you would want to add?
Could you say that like they were both with their friends because Max's friends were kind of like made up, but they were still kind of like his friends in his
Yes, I think that's an excellent addition to the both. So they were both with their friends.
Max had a mom, and we don't know if Pete the cat had a mom.
Okay, that's a good one. Mom was in a story. That kind of, okay. We know what that means. We're just going to put mom. We know. Okay. Do you guys think that there's anything else? What color? What color fur? Yeah. What color? Okay. What was Pete wearing?
Pete was wearing his baseball uniform.
Okay. Oop. And we already have cat suit over here. So yeah, so that's a good comparison. And do you think that we could put what color his fur was? Pete the cat had blue
and Max
fur.
was white.
Max had on a white furry cat suit, and Pete the cat had blue fur. That's good. Blue. Okay. So I think you guys did an excellent job on filling out this Venn diagram together and with me as a class. So do you guys think that you're ready to do something on your own?
I think so.
Okay, I think so too. Before we do, I want you guys to say your I can statement with me to give yourself a fresh mind and a clear start to what we're about to do, okay? So let's look behind me. I have it posted. Can everybody see it?
I can't really read it. It's kind
Okay, it's too light. It says, today I can compare and contrast characters in a story. Can you guys say it with me one more time?
Today I can compare and contrast characters in a story.
I can because I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
Amazing.
Great job, guys. Okay, let's turn on our thinkers. Great job. And let's look at our practice that we're going to do by ourselves. And what this is a sentence strip. So you're going to have 4 sentence strips that you are going to fill out on a piece of paper. And there's 4 right here. Okay, so the first one is going to be between the 2 books, so Max and Pete. And then you're also going to compare yourself and Pete, and then you're going to contrast yourself and Max. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys go ahead and get started, and I will wait for you guys to get done, okay? Are you guys still working?
I'm done.
I'm done.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Alex,
Yes.
can you share with me what you put for Max and Pete are alike?
Yes. I put that Max and Pete are alike because they're both boys.
Okay. And what did you do? Did you compare or did you contrast that?
I just basically like compared it, I think.
Compared it. That's great because when we compare, we look at similarities. Okay. And London, what did you decide? Me and Pete are alike because.
We like sports. We both like sports.
Okay. Can you say that in the sentence?
Me and Pete are alike because we both like sports.
That's great. And what sports do you like?
I like soccer and volleyball, but like I like watching baseball too. So me and Pete are similar that way.
Okay. And Pete plays baseball, right?
Mhm.
That's great. Okay, Alex, Max and Pete are different because.
One is a human and one's a cat.
Okay. So can you say that in the whole sentence strip for me?
Oh, Max and Pete are different because Max is a human and Pete is a cat.
That is great. And London, can you tell me the difference between you and Max?
A difference between Max and I is he's a boy and I'm a girl.
That is great. Alex, did you think of a difference between you and Max?
That's basically what I said.
Okay. Can you guys think of any other differences maybe?
I was thinking that like he got mad at his mom, and like I really don't get mad at my mom.
You don't get mad at your mom? That's great. Okay, guys. Well, I think that we did some excellent work today. And I think that you guys have a great understanding of comparing and contrasting by the work that we did. And I just have a few questions. Why do you think that it's important to compare and contrast people in a story, people in maybe a play or a movie? Do you guys know why it's important to do this or understand what compare and contrast means?
I feel like comparing and contrasting helps us get a better idea of like what makes up a story. Like
That's
the
great.
little details we talked about a couple weeks ago, like the
Right.
key details of a story make the idea of the story more important. Like if we didn't know that Pete was a good sport, it wouldn't have made sense when he was happy at the end.
Right.
So I think being able to compare and contrast helps us look at how the parts of one story and the parts of another story and look at how they're different and alike.
Great. And I want you and your turn and talk partner to both talk to each other and say, we are the same because we are both amazing and we did great work today.
Okay. We are the same because we're both amazing.
Amazing. Great work today.
Great job, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and I'm really happy with all the work that you did. You all get a gold star today. Good job, guys.
Woo!